Michael Henry from when he ran against Tish James for Attorney General. He got what? 26% of the vote.
Yeah.
Donate to Michael's campaign. Let's get him in Attorney General's office. I mean, it would be amazing to have Michael as our attorney.
Yeah.
So here he is. He's going to say a few words, and we're very grateful for him.
I have to start off with happy birthday, Vanessa. So yeah, in 2022, I ran on the ticket with Lee Zeldin. We finished with about 46% of the vote. Look, I learned something simple when I ran for office the first time is there's two types of people that run for office. There's politicians and there's public servants. And the problem is we have way too many politicians in elected office and not enough public servants. So for me, my background's simple. I worked in the finance industry. I was in management. Went back to law school at night. I own my own law practice here in Manhattan. I'm also a counsel with a large national firm. And I ran in 2022 not to be a Republican Attorney General. I ran to be the Attorney General. Because for far too long, this office has been used for one of two reasons. The first one is to become the next governor, which Letitia James clearly failed to do. The second one is to weaponize it against political opponents, which Letitia James is going to continue to do. And the problem now is I never would have believed in 2022 if you told me that in a couple of years we'd have a migrant crisis, a homeless crisis, a mental health crisis, crime would be worse, drugs would be worse, we'd have a cost of living crisis, an energy cost crisis. There's nothing going right. And the reason being is because the leadership in this state has put politics over the people. And we've seen this over and over again. Look, after my last election, it came out that Letitia James, chief of staff, going back to her days as public advocate, was engaged in sexual misconduct. There was numerous victims. And I wrote an op-ed, and even Republicans said, do not write this op-ed, she's gonna get mad, etc. When I wrote the op-ed, one of the women came forward. And now Letitia James is being personally sued by the same attorney who's suing Diddy and Harvey Weinstein.
Good.
Now, let's go on to 2024. In 2024, there's encampments of pro-Hamas protesters at Columbia University. Once again, Letitia James is quiet. Why is that? Well, I ran against her. I had her financial disclosures. She's paid faculty at Columbia University. So we call her out on that, and her response was, well, I don't agree with anti-Semitism, but I'm going to continue to collect $30,000 a year with my salary with Columbia. If you could be bought off, and your silence could be bought off at $30,000 a year, or you could sit here for over a decade harboring someone engaged in sexual misconduct, you should not be the chief law enforcement officer of this state.
Yeah.
The other aspect of it is the Attorney General's office is not just the top cop. You oversee the financial services industry. You oversee the insurance industry. You oversee taxation. You oversee almost every aspect of New York State's economy. And you need people in these positions that understand how to streamline these offices and make it effective so our economy can grow and small business can develop. Because when you walk around this city and this state, small business is the lifeblood. And look, I'll ask a simple question right now that I ask in every room I go to. How many people in this room have had a close family member or friend move out of New York City in the last year? And what do they say to you when they call you? The first thing they'll say to you is, oh, it's great in North Carolina, Florida, wherever they live. And then 5 minutes later,
Miami
it
Beach.
sucks. You can't go to the beach. Everybody moves slow around here. Nobody works hard. You can't make money. Nobody wants to live like this. Nobody wants to talk to their grandkids on a Sunday night because their children had to move to Phoenix, Arizona to raise them. And the other aspect of it is your public officials have to be honest with you. Okay? Crime is not down because they're not counting migrants. Walk on Roosevelt Avenue in Queens, you have young women that are being sexually trafficked, raped, and prostituted. And I don't care if you're in the country undocumented, you don't deserve to be somebody's sex slave. And the fact that you're turning a blind eye to this is completely unconscionable. So, how has this changed from 2022? Well, two things. The first one is New York City has started to move in the direction of wanting change. The second aspect of it is there's now a matching funds program for statewide races. So any donation in New York between $5 and $250 from a New York resident is matched 6-1 by the state of New York up to $7 million. And on top of that, if you don't debate your opponent, you have to return that money. In 2022, Letitia James, who's never been bashful to be in front of a camera, did not have the courage to debate. She's either going to have to debate or get out of the matching funds program. In January alone, I raised 6 figures, and I'm 45% of the way to qualifying for matching funds, and we're almost 2 years out. We are going to have a pathway, we're going to have an infrastructure, and we're going to have a message that's going to resonate. Because I think the best public service I could do is retire Letitia James from public service. And I say to people when I go around, we live in the best city in the world, and we live in the best country in the world. And the best nation, the very best nation of all, is a donation. So go to Henry.